Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Pompero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle of the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal team. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Oh, shoot, I forgot that. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. All right, and if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Man, I got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, leave a question or comment on that platform. Guess what? It'll come up in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show, and that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Man, let's check the chat. The chat is jumping like crazy this morning. And it should be, baby. It should be. It should be. Because today is Bears Victory Monday. You're damn right it is, baby. I don't care if it was a preseason game. I don't care if the game was on Friday. Bears Victory Monday. So you got the Bears Victory chain on here. Let's go. Black Diamond checking in early. He's like, top of the morning to you. It was a hell of a comeback. We got a lot to clean up, and Nashawn Wright ain't it. Yeah, he had some struggles there, Black Diamond. He definitely did. Levette Lee in the house. Happy House Music Monday, y'all. Good morning, Levette. She also adds FGB. She added some blasphemy on here, but we're not going to talk about her cup comment. Michelle Walls, Mr. Southside himself, says, what up on a House Music Monday morning, bear down, FGB, baby, I agree. Mr. Shorty checking in. He's top of the morning to you. Did you forget something, Mr. Shorty? You forgot the FGB, Papa. So. My man Armando Emeterio, Lara Jr., my man Junior's in the house. What's up, buddy? How are you? Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Cornelius Squall checking in. What up? ShawnSierraSports fans. Hey, listen, I don't know a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. That. I don't know a lot about a lot. That, I can promise you. Where did that go? Where did that go? There you go. Crazy son of a gun. Hey, listen. We got a great show for you. Man, I can't wait. At 10 o'clock, my man Lester Wiltfong Jr. is going to join us. And all things good stuff that we saw from the Bears. Some stuff that needs to work. All right, so we're going to talk to Lester Wiltfong Jr. We'll talk to Lester Wiltfong Jr. at 10 o'clock. But other than that, man, we got a lot of sports, Chicago sports to talk. Man, dare I say it? Dare I jinx you, Cub fans? Are the Cubs back? Are the Cubs back or what? They're only 5 games out. It looks like someone has arisen from his slumber. Are you ready to say it, Cub fans, or what? Because I was in just remember what I told you guys. There's a lot of baseball left. All right, and it only takes team. You just got to get hot. You know, we've talked about it plenty of times. You just got to get hot at the right time. And I was talking to a dude yesterday, big Cub fan. Still all right. But I told him the same thing I told you. I said, if the Cubs don't win the division, I said, well, it doesn't look like they will. They can. I'm not saying that they won't. They can. There's still a chance. But who the hell is going to want to play them as a wild card? Especially if they're getting hot. If they got hot and they go into the postseason on a roll, 8 out of 10, whew. Pitching gets back. King Tuck is out of his slump. PCA comes out of his slump. Seiya comes out of his slump. That's not a nice matchup for anybody. That's not a nice matchup. People are going to be mad as a mug, boy. Man, we got to face the Cubs. And I tell you, that's the way for you guys. That's the way for you guys to get it to make a deep run to the playoffs. Start getting hot now, the wild card, and man, I'll tell you, you guys can do a big number in those playoffs. But the Cubs with a nice series over the weekend. King Tuck seems to be back. I know that's a big exhale from Cub fans. My guy Mondo, Jr. son. After the game, Kyle Tucker's 2-homer game, he was like, we are so freaking back. I love it. That's how we are, though, as fans. As Chicago fans, that's how we are. All right. You know, we one good thing, and man, all of a sudden everything is back to normal. But it's on the thread we have, it was funny seeing it. Let's see what's up. Chris, what's up, Popeye says Grand Rising, fellas. Hey, SuperBack, we got to get up soon, bro. Hey, I'm down, baby. I'm down. Either come on the show or, man, I'm planning on going on a Sox game or two. Got to be on Tuesday. I want that $5 menu. $5 menu. Yes. My man Junior with his lovely comment, FGB. Thank you very much, sir. Got to see how they do this week. You're talking about the Cubs, I presume, right, Black Diamond? Because the Bears don't play. You must be talking about the Cubs. But yeah. Brandon Schutz checking in. What's up, Papa? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. He's like, my poor son. Yeah, because Mondo just oh man, he's a Cubs. He's he's as bad as me. When my White Sox and my teams, yeah, he's Black Diamond. Yep, yeah, we are talking to Cubs. Yeah, see how they do. Oh, so you're going? Chris says I'm going to the game Tuesday, tomorrow. Okay, maybe I'll take a trek to the game tomorrow, man. If I do, I'll definitely hit you up. How about for real? Brandon Schutz, yes, they did, sir. They did. They smashed the Twinkies. Smashed them Twinkies. So there's a lot to talk about. Oh, and then that football team or something did something on Friday. All right. A lot of good, a lot of bad. Okay, but exciting finish. And to me, that says a lot about the culture. About and it's not getting twisted. Those guys are fighting for jobs. All right, most of those guys in at the end were fighting for jobs, and I'm not going to say, oh, what a great culture, Ben Johnson's created. He has created a culture, but I'm not going to say that's the reason they came back. All right, that's not the reason they came back. Was those guys are fighting for jobs. They're fighting, okay, trying to catch the coach's eye, trying. Trying to make a roster, because for some, that's their last shot. All right, their NFL dream ended Friday. Okay. And they might not get another shot at an NFL roster, or they might get called in for as a camp body. So the energy with which they played on Friday was great to see. Tyson Bagent just signs his $2-year, $10 million extension the day before, or just a day or two before, and then he goes out and leads that comeback. What was really, really fun about that? Did you feel it all in that drive that Tyson Bagent was nervous, scared, or rattled at all? Did you get at that? Because I didn't. I thought Tyson Bagent was so calm, cool, and collected in that drive. He never looked frantic. He never looked out of sorts. He looked comfortable. He continued to throw. He threw the ball over the middle of the field with no timeouts. Got the spike. He worked the sidelines to Tyler Scott on the right, the tight end. A couple plays more prior to that on the left side. I'll tell you what. I am so comfortable with him as our backup. I'm so comfortable with Tyson Bagent as our backup. All right. Especially he's gravitating toward Ben Johnson's offense big time. He's grasping it better than Caleb. Okay. Now, don't say I'm saying Tyson should start over Caleb. I didn't say that. I just said he's grasping the offense better than Caleb. All right, they got 2 weeks now. 2 weeks from today. Okay, 2 weeks from today is when it all starts. King Booker World checking in. What's up, Popeye? Says salute everyone and Shawn. King Booker World. That's the shorty saying, hell no, he didn't. He's talking about Tyson Bagent. He didn't look, when I asked, he looked frazzled. Mr. Shorty says, hell no, Shawn. You're damn right he didn't. Chris, I love talking football with you guys. Man, we love having you, Chris. Shorty, and all three of his drives. You're right, all three of them. He's calm, cool, and collected. I'll just go hit 3 tutties real quick. Cornelius, Bagent was cool, calm, and collected. That's what you want. Okay? That's what you want. Okay? We've seen Caleb in a lot last year at the end of quarters, at the end of the half, at the end of games. We've seen him lead to scoring drives. Okay? Field goals, a couple touchdowns here and there. And we talked about those last year. Recall? You guys remember that? Okay, and now we're seeing Tyson Bagent come leading a comeback, a game-winning comeback. He had a field goal, touchdown. Couldn't get a field goal. We needed a touchdown. So now our two quarterbacks, both young, have the moxie. All right, where you have the moxie, have the nerves, have the cojones to lead late game comebacks. We've seen it from our starter. We saw it from our backup. I'm good. Armando Jr., you ain't lying, bro. Junior says, I see the refs were in in-season form cheating for the Chiefs. They were. I know Jason commented on my post. Come on, it's preseason, is holding on every play. I can go with that, Jason. I could. But when you're grabbing a guy's jersey, he's trying to pull away from you, and you see being grabbed and no flag is called, come on. He's a golden child. He's a golden child. They're going to protect him. You know, I swear, I'm telling you. When Mahomes on that third down conversion where he's running, and I don't know who it was, you know, he gives that little half-ass pump fake, and everyone just jumps or slows down a little bit. Coaching matters, and that should be a coaching point. Okay? What I used to do in when I was a defensive coordinator, and that happened to us once, because a lot of times we played, teams weren't very, very good, a lot of the teams that we played, but they had one or two athletic guys, and a lot of times it was the quarterback. He has the ball in his hands the majority of the time. You want your best athlete to have the ball in his hands. And a couple of times, the first time it happened, he just brought the ball up as a fake. One of my guys, my linebacker, jumped up, paused, jumped up. I'm like, dude, he's freaking 10 yards downfield. He's not going to pass it. But you don't think of it. You see the ball going up, and it's a reaction. So what I told my guys, I'm like, look, we don't jump anymore. We don't jump anymore. I said, when you have a quarterback who's out, who's running, he's past the line of scrimmage, I said, you run through his chest. You put your face mask through his chest. I said, I want to see him fake, and he doesn't see you stopping, and you run right through his goddamn chest. And it never happened again. It didn't happen. And I told him, I said, guess what? I said, if he throws the ball, I said it's a 15-yard penalty. I said, I'll take it. That'll be on me. I said, but we're not going to be jumping anytime quarterbacks use these half-ass fakes in the open field. When you have a beat on them, you go get them. They're a ball carrier now. Go get them. And that's what the Bears need to do. And that's what Mahomes does, is he'll pump fake, pump fake, pump fake. Dude, you're past the line of scrimmage. And that's awareness on the part of the defender. If you know he's past the line of scrimmage, but you also know it's Patrick Mahomes. So if you hit him too hard, if you shove him down, you might get a penalty because you push him too hard. But that can't happen again. You got to run through a quarterback. You got to be a heat-seeking missile. He's past the line of scrimmage. Right through his chest. Or hit him under the arm and shove him over. Because, you can't go through his chest. You can't drive a quarterback now anymore. Or maybe as a runner you can. That's a good question. I have to find out if you can drive through a quarterback when he's a runner. Because, if you're in the pocket, you can't drive your shoulder into the quarterback and drive him into the ground. It's a penalty. What if he's a runner? That's a good question. I got to find that out. I don't know if you can see this. They said Mahomes' magic is back, and he show you the magic. The magician, they got the ref not doing anything. The guy behind Mahomes with Montez Sweat has a hold of his jersey. Montez is trying to spin away to go get Mahomes, and you see the jersey being pulled, and then the guy to Mahomes' left, or the right side of the picture, you see they're holding Gervon Dexter. You see his jersey being pulled and held. So how's he's escaping? Oh my God, how? Well, when you got guys holding and the officials don't call it. That's how you become a magician. That's how you become a magician. Straight. I was so pissed. Oh, then the one block, yeah, where they hit Sweat in the back. Yeah. Michonne says a lot of delusional people want Bajan to start over Caleb. Yeah, it's. Cornelia says Caleb had a good game himself. He only had 3 bad plays. I'm more concerned about the defense now. Yeah, Caleb played well. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. All right? We're going to talk about all that stuff. But what we're going to do first, we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we are going to hit our top of the morning topics. All right? So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it live. Shawn Sierra Sports. Go. Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brymere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so...
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Takes matters into his own hands, smacks it into center field. Teal will score. 2 runs come in, and the rookies.
They're out, they're up, they're down. Major league's usually not the case.
Down the line in left field, long run for Martin, and he will not get there. Talkman, he will be waved home. No throw. The throw to second. Vargas is safe. Robert Jr. takes off, and Montgomery just unloads to right field. My goodness, this kid is something. 3 straight games with a home run.
On the left side of the pole, that was answered.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those tips courtesy of the Chicago Sports Network. Those were the good guys yesterday with an ass whooping over the Twinkies. 8-0. Wait, I'm telling you, that youngster, he had a weekend. Have yourself a weekend, young man. Colson Montgomery, 3 homers, 3 straight games. He homered all 3 games against the Twinkies. He was 5 for 13, a double, 3 homers, and 8 RBIs. 8 RBIs for the rookie. Very impressive. Very impressive. Let's get it crack-a-lackin', baby. You know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to
you. Yeah, baby. At first top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? You know where we're starting. We're going back to Friday. You ain't got no job. It's Friday. The Bears. Man, the Bears with a phenomenal comeback victory. Beat the Kansas City Chiefs 29-27 at Arrowhead on Friday night. Caleb Williams, 11 for 15, 113 yards. A tutty, 116.8 rating. Not bad at all. Tyson Bagent, newly inked. Not ink on his body. He inked that contract for a new extension, 2 years, $10 million. What a game he had. 20 for 28, 212 yards, 3 tutties, 128.9 rating. DeAndre Swift, 7 carries for 28 yards. Roma Dunze, 3 catches, 45 yards, and a tutty. Okay. Tyson Bagent led the comeback, scored with 2 seconds remaining in the game for the Bears to beat Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. I know a lot of people were annoyed or pissed. They're like, But you know what? Bump them. I don't care. A win is a win. Next up, the morning topic, staying with the Bears. Man, 2 weeks from today, the Bears open the season at home on Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on ABC 7 or ESPN. You can listen to that game on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. You know what? I'm going to put that. There we go. Okay. I just didn't like the wording of it. Open up at home September 8th on Monday Night Football against the Vikings. It's going to be a good one, baby. It's going to be a good one. Chicago is fired up. Next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs beat the Angels 4-3. Jameson winning the series 2-1. Jameson Tyone, he got the win. He's 9-6. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. No free passes, 3 punch-outs. Nico Horner, have a nice day. Have a day, young man. He was 2 for 4 with a double, his 21st, driving in his 50th RBI of the season. King Tuck, he is back alive. He's alive! King Tuck, he was 1 for 3 with an RBI, his 69th of the year. PCA also had an RBI, driving in his 82nd of the year. Speaking of Cole Montgomery, let's talk about Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker has risen from the ashes. Is he the Phoenix? He has risen from the ashes this weekend. Kyle Tucker says, I'll hit a homer in all 3 games too. Friday, Kyle Tucker was 1 for 4 with a homer. Saturday, 3 for 5 with a double, 2 homers. Sunday, actually, no, he only had 2 homers, 2 days with homers. Sunday, he was 1 for 3 with an RBI. So over the weekend, Kyle Tucker was 5 for 12, a double, 3 homers, and 7 RBIs. 7 RBIs. That, I'm telling you, if he's back, wow. Cubs are in a really, really, really good position if he's back. 5 for 12, a double, 3 homers, and 7 ribbies over the weekend. It's a nice day. Nice day at work. A nice weekend. It's a nice weekend. King Booker Will says, Twins say, what's for dinner? The Sox. Fresh ass whooping. Craven Moorhead checking in. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Craven Moorhead says, Bears 73, by Queen 0. According to Mr. Shorty, you're telling the Shorty. I love it. Junior said the benching worked. Well, it wasn't that. He's had a chance to heal. He had a chance to heal. You have a broken hand. You have a hairline fracture. You need to let that recover. You need to let that heal. Sorry. You did more damage than good, Kyle Tucker, because you didn't want to sit out and seem soft. The hell with what anyone thinks. Your health, your $300, $400, $500 million contract is on the line, and you put out some bad tape during that injury. Some bad tape. I'm just saying. Cornelius says, I'm not backing on the Cubs wagon yet because they went from leading the division to 5 games down now. Hey, what were they, 8-9? Back to 5 now. It's not over. Remember, I told you it's not over. You don't want to think so because you're conditioned Cub fan, you're conditioned Chicago fan. But it's not over. The division race is not over. Junior says, I've gone into football mode. Cubs are second now on my interest. And then Shorty checks in. He's like, Craven, good morning. Great answer. Well, Craven said 73-0 Bears. It's a great answer. FGB. Oh, let's check it out. Oh, so speaking of the Cubs are off today. They travel up to the Bay, San Francisco Bay, to face the Giants on Tuesday. Mañana. First pitch is at 8:45 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 6:70 a.m. Probables for tomorrow's game for the Cubs. Matthew Boyd's on the bump for the North Saturdays. He's 12-6 with a 2.61 ERA. Going up against Justin Verlander, who's having a crap year, probably the worst of his career. He's 1-10 with a 4.64 ERA. So, hey, here's a chance for the Cubs to jump on an old veteran who's lost a lot and take him out back behind the woodshed. Open up that can of whoop ass. I know. King Booker World's a damn fool. Chicago sports is like Ike. Chicago fans is like Tina. Oh my goodness. Yeah, where's Rick, man? I hope everything's all right, man. Haven't seen him in a couple days. Hope things are good with him. Hope things are good with Rick, man. Miss him. Moving on to the next top of the morning topic, the good guys on the South Side. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Man, oh man, oh man. Today, the smackdown on the candy asses of the Twins, 8-0. Yuendrys Gomez, man, he got to know the decision. He got to start. He went 4 2/3. Then he had runners on first and third with 2 outs, and Will Venable took him out. I'm like, let him get that third out and get the win. But he didn't get the win. He got a no decision. 4 2/3, 2 hits of shutout ball, 3 walks, 6 punch-outs. Colson Montgomery, he was 1 for 4 yesterday with a homer. His third consecutive day with a homer. His 13th of the year. He drove in his 35th and 36 runs of the season. Edgar Carroll was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, his 32nd, 33rd, and 34th RBIs of the season. Kyle Teal, these youngsters are raking, boy. He was 3 for 4 yesterday with 2 RBIs, his 20th and 21st of the season. Tell you what, the White Sox, no rest for the weary. The White Sox host Kansas City Royals tonight at Wright Field. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Central. The probables for tonight's game for Kansas City, Noah Cameron. He's on the bump for KC. He's 7-5 with a 2.53 ERA going up against Shane Smith, the guy from Massachusetts, from Boston. Actually, he's not from Boston. He's from a little further west. Shane Smith is on a bump for the Southern guys. He's 3-7 with a 4.2 ERA. Don't stop now, boys. Sox won the series against the Twins, which is awesome. And here's the thing that was dope about it. This is the most improved series wins from last year to this year. The Blue Jays won 17 series last year, and they've won 25. So they've increased 8 series to this point. I'm sure that's going to continue. But the White Sox won 8 series last year, and they've won 14. That's an increase of 6. So right now, the White Sox have the second biggest increase in series wins from last year. Okay? That, my friends, is progress. That is progress. That shows you're definitely going in the right direction. White Sox with 47 wins. Yeah, I don't think we'll get to 60. I think we're still stuck with another 100-loss season. But, hey, over at 50, it's 13 games. Where are we at? It's 120, 130. We have 32 games left. 32 games left. Well, it's perfect. 120, 130. Yeah. 32 games left for the Southsiders. Yeah, that's how many games can they win? We got to find that out. Or we're going to find that out. Can we go 500? If we go 500, that'll give us 62 wins. Wow. And that'll still give us 100 losses. Damn. But that'll be a 21-game improvement over last year. And let me tell you, when you improve 21 games in the majors, that's awesome. King Book of World, what did you say? He says, our limo moment is coming, damn it. Michelle Sox scored more runs this year than last year. Yeah, they have. They have. So the good guys are. Next top of the morning topic, the Sky hosts the Las Vegas Aces tonight. Tonight, at Wintrust Arena. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the U. Also, I believe that game is going to be broadcast on 6:70 a.m., isn't it? Aren't they having the? I think they're having they're broadcasted on 6:70, if I'm not mistaken. there are only a handful of games that were going to be broadcast on the radio, on the score. I think this is one of them. You see, I'm trying to see. No, they're not telling us. Oh, here we go. Find it. Basketball. Yes, it is. So it's on channel 26 to you, but it's also on 670 AM. You can listen, and that's with Layla Rahimi. If you guys like Layla Rahimi, I met her a couple of times. She's nice. She's a sweetheart. Young lady out of Texas. She's got a nasally voice with a southern twang. It's awesome, her voice. Nice. So she's doing the game tonight. So she probably won't be on the air today. It's been her MO when they've done that. But let me tell you something. Kyle Tucker had a weekend. I told you, 5 for 12, a double, 3 homers, 7 ribbies. Cub fans, how happy were you with this type of turnaround for him? How are you feeling? I don't care if I know they're your second priority right now, Junior, but how are you guys, Cub fans, how are you feeling right now that you see King Tuck is back stroking? How are you feeling right now? Still wild card, or are you trying to give the winning the division some life? Because there's 32 games left. A lot can happen in a month. A month. So remember I told you Milwaukee can't continue to win. They cannot continue to win at an 800 clip. Put it this way, they can, but it's highly unlikely. Milwaukee is 4-6 in their last 10 games. Remember when they couldn't lose? Remember when they went a 10 to a 12-game winning streak, lost the game, then they went on a 14-game winning streak? Well, guess what? They're 4-6 in their last 10, and they've lost 2 straight. Cub fans are 5 games out. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something if you're able to catch them, take the lead, take the division? It's still possible. But it's not possible without people like King Tuck coming to life. Seiya Suzuki didn't do much this weekend. PCA, he had an RBI, if I'm not mistaken. But man, Kyle Tucker's got to play. He's got to come back to play. Yeah, PCA had a ribby yesterday. Kyle Tucker has got to get back into form, and it's going to help everybody around him. High tide raises all ships. And then when he was doing bad and he stayed in there hurting the team, I think it really hurt everybody else. So with him feeling it again, how soon before PCA feels it? How soon before Seiya Suzuki feels it? How soon? Because the sooner that those guys, I'm telling you, you guys, the Chicago Cubs have too much firepower. They have too much firepower to be counted out. Too much. So don't do it, Cub fans. And I know you're leery. I know. Have some faith. Have some faith. Have some faith. Your bats are going to wake up just in time for the last 30-something games. You don't even need it for the last 30 games. You need it for the last 10. The last 10 to 15 games is all you need for this Cubs team to get on a roll and watch out. If they extend that streak, they stay hotter, longer, shit, that's even better. That's better. But you just need the last 10 to 15 games. If your last 15 games, you go 13-3. I'm sorry, 12-3. My math messed up my math there. You go 12-3. No long win streaks. But you're winning at a, 80% clip? 3, 6, 9, 12? 3, that's 80% win percentage. You have a great shot at the division. And if you don't, whoever you face in the first round is not going to be happy to face you coming in at an 80% win clip in the last 15 games, if that's how it plays out. Junior, Marlins of 97 and 03 were teams that got hot and won it all. Yes, they were. Remember, we got Ozzie. The good guys got Ozzie. He was the third base coach on that 03 team, 03 Marlins team. He was the third base coach. We got Ozzie after that season, and the rest, as they say, is history. So, man, that's all it takes. There's an example literally right there. There's your example. Teams that get hot, the right time, that's what you want. Now, my good guys, we got some work to do. We got 32 games left. Even if we go 500, we'll have 62 wins. We'll have 100 losses. So let's start taking series, man. Let's take series. Okay? If we take series, we'll go 67%, which will get us over. It'll be 20. It'll be 20 and 10. All right, say 21 and 11. Cool. That'll get us over the 62 win mark. We just need 16 games to win, is what we need. 16 games will put us at 63 wins, 99 losses. And you know what? I'll take it. There's a stigma about having 100 losses. Okay? There's a stigma. Let's get rid of that. And what a great way it would be to go from 121 losses to 99. A 22-game improvement in one season. How amazing will that be for us Sox fans? All right, and what you got to do, you got to let these young kids rake. Got to let them rake. Got to let them play. Colson Montgomery showing you he is the real deal. Kyle Teal showing you he's the real deal. Edgar Carroll showing you he's the real deal. All right, these guys, these youngsters, Chase Mydroff showing you he's the real deal. Lou Bob is still showing you continues to show you he's a real deal. And I'm very grateful that he did not go. I can't wait till they re-sign, pick up his $20 million option for next year. And his young pitchers, Shane Smith, all right, Davis Martin. A lot of these young pitchers are doing really, really well. Just hard luck. All right, sometimes you don't get the run support that you need. We as Sox fans have seen that all too well. Go back to Chris Sale, go back to Jose Quintana, go back to all the star pitchers we've had. And at one point or another, they just didn't get the run support and would lose crazy. Michelle says, Bartman curse still haunts the Cubs in 03. All the curse is over. They won it. 13 years later, but they won it. I agree. These kids can play part 2. That was with Alex Fernandez and was that with Robin? No, I think Robin had played already. But that whole group. No, for those of you who don't know, that was a marketing slogan for the White Sox that, yeah, these kids can play. I don't remember what year that was. But they had a lot of good pitchers. They had a lot of good talent. Field position players and pitchers. They had a lot of good talent. But that's what they need to do. Keep playing hard. Keep playing hard. Keep running up. You know, I know it's cliche-ish, but respect 90. Run the first base. All right, run out all ground balls. Put stress on the defense. All right, run your ass down the line. So now you never know. Someone might get hurried a little bit. All right, that's what happened yesterday in the game. It was a routine around the horn, 5-4-3, 5-4. All right, the second baseman airmailed it. Bases were loaded. There's one out. Bases were loaded. I don't remember who was up. Hits it right, one hopper to the third baseman. Fires it to second. Second baseman gets it, plenty of time. Airmails it. Throws it over to first baseman's head. The runner scores from third. We added another run. You're a damn fool, boy. King Booker Will said, no 5 Ozzy had them boys on autopilot. He was in the dugout cooking out of cheddar, just chilling. Oh, man. I'm telling you, that was special. And he deserves all the flowers he's getting. He really does. And then you see how important managing, how important coaching is for a team. But these youngsters right here are doing a good job. Will Venable's doing a great job of managing this squad. And you got to stay on them. Stay on them. Okay? Play hard, tough baseball. Grinder ball, so to speak. All right? And we're starting to see we got some pop. This kid, Colson Montgomery, got some pop. Kyle Teal's got some pop. Edgar Quero's got some pop. Who's the not Arroyo? Miguel Vargas got some pop. We got some kids in here who are, you're right. These kids can play. Part 2. Edgar Quero, Kyle Teal, Michael Tuckman, and his new kid Meade. Lenine Sosa has been playing very well. Chase Mydroff, Corey Lee, I almost forgot about him. Brooks Baldwin, excuse me. Miguel Vargas, Montgomery, forgot about Benintendi, Lewis Robert, Michael A. Taylor. These are all played. We got some nice pieces in there. I'll tell you what, if they can get 16 wins and get out of a 100-loss sweepstakes, then I think you might have to make a move for a star in the offseason. I would say wait for the trade deadline next year, but if you can go get them, bump it. You got some pitching, you have depth, you have talent, you have a lot of people in the pipeline still that you can trade. You have some guys on this team who might be part of the trade, and that's okay. Shawn says Mydroth is scrappy. Yeah, he is. He's one of those guys that you need on your team. He's not going to be an all-star. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer, but he's one of those guys you need on the team, one of those role players. King Booker says Junior Luke knew damn well he wasn't catching the ball. He's talking about the Colson Montgomery home run. That was deep. That was way up there in the stands. But I like the excitement. That's why I might go. Chris, I might meet you up there tomorrow. We'll see. So I'll definitely take advantage of that $5 menu. That's for sure. He's talking about Moises Alou. He's talking about Moises Alou in 03. Junior, you're an idiot. He sure did. Alou had too much piss on his hands. Stop it. For those of you who don't know, Moises Alou used to say he used to urinate on his hands to get his hands tougher and not so raw, so sensitive. And for some reason he said it helped him with the swing, better grip, whatever. I don't know. That's what he said. Don't quote me. That's what the man said. But anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my man, Lester Wiltfong Jr. from Windy City Gridiron. We're going to talk a little Bears because I'm a little fired up about the way it ended Not fired up about the way it started, fired up about the way it ended. So we're going to talk to Lester, get his thoughts. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings. I have my dogs. They're the best. I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The 2022 draft. Williams to throw. He's got a wide open receiver, Adunze, and he's still on his feet. And he will set up the Bears with first and goal at the 2-yard line. 7. Williams wants to throw for it, and that's caught. Touchdown, Bears. Adunze gets the score for Chicago.
Well, you and I were talking before the game about clearly it's not a good thing to make him mad because he was mad after that previous play.
Pageant will throw, and that is caught. That's a good-looking throw. It'll be a Bears first down. Oladokin going to step up, and he'll go down. Ball's out. Ball's on the ground. They're going to say he was down before the ball came out, so they whistled it dead.
Another bullshit call. How's he down when he knocked the ball out of his hand? See what I'm talking about? That bullshit that they're saying? Jason, Chiefs, you get all the calls. Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Actually, I think that was a Kansas City broadcast. But yeah, they're on that bullshit again, man. The hold from Mahomes. Oh, look at the magic. Yeah, when you're pulling the jersey of the defender and you can't get away, and the refs just got the whistle stuck up his ass. And there, he called him down. How's he down? The dude swatted the ball out of his hand, bounces off his knee. Oh, he's down by contact. What is this, touch? That's that bullshit, man, that everyone's got to deal when they play the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know how the Eagles did it last year. Penalty, Philadelphia offensive line. You're pushing the defensive line too far back. Lost him down. What kind of nonsense is that, man? Jesus. Anyway, my next guest, I'm fired up to have him. I love talking football with him. He's the head honcho, the editor-in-chief of Windy City Gridiron. You can find him on Twitter at Wiltfong, Wiltfong Jr. or Jr. Wiltfong Jr. Wiltfong Jr. Man, let's welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports. My man Lester Wiltfong Jr. Lester, what's up, Papa? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing? Hey, it's preseason for the refs too, right?
They looked in mid-season form yesterday, the other day with the non-blowing of the whistle and penalty flags on the Chiefs. That was really mid-season form, that's for sure.
That's the Chiefs, man. They're going to get those calls. I mean, when you're a great team, an elite team, I mean, you tend to get the benefit of the doubt. So maybe someday, as Bears fans, we'll have that same thing happening for our team.
Well, they're part of, you got the Taylor Swift lookalike up there. Yeah. They're part of that secret club. So, like, they get all the calls. Man. They get all the calls. That was hilarious. Oh, man, my guy Shorty's hollering at you. He's like, we are RL.
Round Lake High, baby. Look at there.
Oh, and your Achilles, you had Achilles surgery, bro?
Yeah, I had Achilles surgery. That's why I'm in a new spot. I got to have I can't go upstairs. I'm in a cast. So, yeah, it sucks. Complete rupture. Man, I've had a rough year, man. I had shoulder surgery in May, Achilles surgery in August. Man, I've just been, I'm on IR, man. I'll be back though soon.
Damn. Is it a lower body injury?
Everything, man. It's when you get up here in age, man, it just, it all piles up on you.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, it's, I know, bro. I feel your pain. Not as much as pain, not all that pain, but I feel it. I wake up and just different parts of my body hurt or sore. Dude, I tell you, I fell in CrossFit 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God, dude.
My right quad was acting crazy. So we were doing overhead. We had dumbbell overhead lunges. So my right quad was weak. And so I stepped forward with my left foot and my right knee went down to touch the mat. And on the way up, I felt it wouldn't go. I tried to give it everything I had and it just gave out. And I fell. I dropped the dumbbell.
Oh my God!
And the coach came over. He's like, "You okay?" And I busted out laughing because I was fucking embarrassed, bro. I was embarrassed. I was like, "Dude, I've been tackled a trillion times." I said, "I'm fine." I said, "My Eagles is bruised right about now." I said, "But I'm good."
Those muscles sometimes have the mind of their own when you get a little up there in age. So
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Man, big win for the Bears, 29-27. Basically a walk-off with Tyson Bagent. Right after his 2-year, $10 million extension. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Tyson Bagent's extension. How happy were you for the kid? And, Steve-O, you took that down. Darn it. Yeah, how happy were you for the kid? And you think it was deserved?
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome story, man. Comes out of a small school, undrafted free agent, kind of comes into the Bears. Now he's on his 3rd year, and he just keeps impressing the coaching staff, right, every year. And, good for him. I mean, he locks him into Ben Johnson, right, the coaching of Ben Johnson and his staff. It locks him in here for a few years. I mean, he's set up now where he can get another big deal. Let's say he does get some playing time in the next few years. Now he's set up to where he gets a deal somewhere else down the line. So
yeah,
good deal for him. Good deal for the Bears. Look, as Bears fans, we should be excited that the Bears found an undrafted guy they kind of drafted or picked up and developed, and now he's filling an important role on the team.
He was the first quarterback to get an extension since Cutler. 24, dude, 11 years ago. Are you freaking kidding me?
Let's hope he's not the last. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Let's make sure. Hopefully, he's not the last. I agree with you. Great story. You saw him get emotional about it. He talked about his dad not having running water until he got to high school. Like, this is America. Like, how do you how is that even possible? You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy, but he's just a hardworking kid. You know what I mean? And I think that resilience is really what his dad's upbringing really shaped him into being a guy who just is not afraid of the work, and you see it. And truth be told, Lester, I'll tell you what, I said, if Caleb goes down, I said, I'm not wishing anything bad. I said, but if Caleb goes down, I am more than comfortable with Tyson Bagent going in there, stepping in there, because he looked like he'd been doing he'd have comeback drives. He'd been doing that for years. He was calm, cool, collected, never once was frazzled, never once. He worked the middle of the field, he worked the sideline, he got the spike in. Dude, talk to me about how important that was for him, having 500 dropbacks his senior year, for his junior year, 486 drop pass attempts his senior year. How important that is for him and as a quarterback, to when you get to those moments like he had on Friday, that you're not frazzled.
Yeah, I mean, that's good for him. I mean, like I said, he had a chance to play in a few games a couple years ago. He's had a chance to perform in preseason now for 3 years, and I think it was kind of neat that Ben left him in there. I mean, I think the plan was to go to Austin Reed, right? Third quarterback, last preseason game. Let's get him, a few series at least, and then, the way the game was going, he's like, hey, man, let's just let our guy stay out there. Let's see what he can do, and he kind of stepped up to the moment. Yeah, it's practice, but still, it's these guys are competitors, right? They're going to go out there and compete. And the players don't care it's a practice game. The players are out there, going 100%. He's going against guys that are busting their ass because they want to make the Chiefs, right? So it's not like they're going against guys that are just, they may not be the right talent that you want to see him go against, but it's hard, competitive football. And Tyson Bagent kind of went out there and he kind of showed, why the Bears gave him that extension.
Yeah, I think it was awesome. I'm so fired up. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. The starting offense did not look very well. Neither did the defense. Ben Johnson had something to say about that. He was not very happy. And you know what? I love his candor. I love his honesty. Let's check out what he had to say.
Was not the start we wanted from our ones on really offense, defense, or special teams. It was a little bit disappointing to see how slow we started. Defensively, we didn't feel like we controlled the line of scrimmage very well. We gave up some explosive plays. We had some costly penalties, and we couldn't stop them when they got down there in the red zone. So that wasn't good on that side. Offensively, first two possessions was really sloppy football that has plugged us in and out of camp so far, and unfortunately, that's what we got here tonight. There was a number of things that we could have done a better job of. I felt Swifty come to life a little bit. I thought he was going to give us a spark. And then finally we were able to get a field goal. And then the 2 minute right before half, that was a good thing to see. We hadn't really.
Yeah, that could courtesy of the Chicago Bears. Your thoughts on the offense and Caleb's in a sloppy play, as he put it, in the first couple series?
Yeah, I mean, they had some problems with their, I think there's a small part of Ben Johnson, right, where he's kind of like, good, I'm glad we sucked a little bit out there, kind of slapped these guys in their face, because he's fired up. That game against the Bills in the fourth quarter, you couldn't tell they were winning that game.
He was mad as a mother hover.
Yeah, right. It's like you saw us. So he's a competitor. I think there's a small part where he's like, okay, good, let's go into work the next week. These guys aren't who they want to be yet. We got a lot of work to do. I think it was a good slap in the face for the entire offensive unit, and because they had just stacked a few good days in a row, right? And in practice after installs ended, they looking pretty good. So, I mean, that's who he is, man. Accountability. He wants these guys to be perfect, and that's how he's going to coach these guys. So I think, moving forward, I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened to these guys.
Bro, I've said it for weeks now. He is Bill Belichick. He's always going to find a little more personable Bill Belichick. Let's not get it twisted. But his whole demeanor is like, we did that right, but we're supposed to do it right. We look at the shit we did wrong.
Yeah.
We got to focus on that. And he's always gonna focus on the things that need improvement. And that, as a championship, an organization that's trying to get back into being a perennial championship contender, that's what you need, because you know what you do well. Right? We're not gonna blow smoke up our ass because we ran the ball well. We did this. No, what did we do wrong? Let's improve that so we can become great. And we'll count our titles when we're retired. You know what I mean? Just like Brady. When I'm done retired, then I'll see how many things I have. And I like that approach because he doesn't let anyone off the hook. He doesn't, and it's easier when you find the areas for improvement to stay on guys. And That's him. You're never going to hear him. You're always going to hear him say, "We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to get better here." He just reminds me so much of Belichick, and I love it. I love this guy. I love his demeanor. I love the way he's handling the squad, and I love it, dude. I really, really love it. Talk to me about that first play, that end around. Were you annoyed as all get out?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened. I mean, I think Caleb gets credit for the force for the fumble there. Yeah, but that was bad timing. It was bad timing on when the snap happened. Maybe the snap happened right, but the receiver was too far across. I don't know what happened there, but regardless, one of those things where Ben Johnson will look, first play of the game out the gate, that's unacceptable, and I'm sure that's the message he gave to his team. And, at least that they had a chance to stay out there a little bit. I know Ben Johnson said that, he had a snap count threshold in mind. They didn't hit it yet. That's why he sent him back out there. So, I mean, I was glad to see him play pretty much that whole first half because, they do need to work. This is a first-year offense. You look around the NFC North, Jordan Love barely played. J.J. McCarthy, he only took, I think, 7 passes. Jared Goff didn't throw 1 pass. He didn't play at all in preseason. So, brand new offense. Ben Johnson's like, look, let's keep our offense out there. And let's get these guys some work.
And that's what I love. One of the things I love about this guy.
Oh, shit. There's my dog.
That's one of the things I love about this guy is that he does that, is that we did need to work. We do. So you know what? Let me keep you out there. And let's not get it twisted. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense they're facing. All right. It wasn't a run-of-the-mill defense. It was a Super Bowl caliber defense, and they got their ass handed to them. And I think it really shows how far we are away as an offense. But let's not get it twisted. We started running the ball. I was like, thank you, Ben. Like, let's not get Caleb throwing. Let's not get too pass happy there. Let's get Caleb, turn around, hand the ball off. All right, you just revamped that offensive line. Let's make these jokers work. And he started moving the ball. You talked about Swifty. You heard him in the thing. Swift, 7 carries, 28 yards. All right, 4 yards a pop. Not bad. I'll take it. And then the running backs behind them, good thing. Talk about the running game and how it kind of helped the team get on that last drive or Caleb's last touchdown to Adunze.
Yeah, I think the running game is going to be fine. I'm a little worried about the injuries. Obviously, Roschon Johnson hasn't practiced in a while. Travis Homer hasn't practiced in a while. Kyle Monunga hasn't practiced in a while. So who's number 2 behind Swift? I mean, they're going to have the cut downs deadlines tomorrow. Right. They can put a couple players on short-term IR before they set the 53. So maybe that may have to happen here, depending on how long these injuries are. So I think Ben Johnson is fine with Swift as his number 1, but he wants another guy, right? He wants a guy that can complement Swift's skill set. I did find it interesting that, Ben Johnson ran Swift on a few short yardage plays in that game. He's like, look, if you're going to be our guy, you got to pick these tough yards up. And he picked them all up. So, I mean, good for him. Good for that O-line.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Like, he pushes you. Like, that's not Swift's forte.
Nope.
But you know what? Yeah. You're going to have to I can't just put a guy in. They know Roschon Johnson's coming in, so they're going to stack the box. That's the thing about Ben Johnson you love. He throws a curveball. Like, he's not going to run this guy up the middle. He's oh, shit, he ran the ball up the middle.
Yeah.
That's dude, the hair on my arm just stood up.
It's the scheme, man. I mean, I just trust what Ben Johnson does offensively. I think he'll make it work no matter who he has back there. Obviously, you want to have more talent, and I got a feeling that they may make a move, on the waiver wire. I don't think Royce Freeman, although I think he looked pretty good in the Chiefs, but I don't think he's going to be your guy. Britton Brown, he looked fine this preseason. Ian Wheeler looked fine this preseason. And Wheeler may make the 53 out of necessity just because, again, the injuries might really throw a wrench into their plans. But I think whatever Ben Johnson has, he'll make work just because, for one, the O-line is better this year. And for 2, man, he knows how to scheme a running game.
Mother Hubbard sure as hell does. Guys, we're joined by Lester Wiltfong, editor-in-chief of Windy City Gridiron. We're talking Bears football here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. You let me right into my next question. Give me your thoughts on the left tackle position, former offensive lineman yourself. That's been a revolving door, and they're trying to get that settled. They got the interior set. All right, that looked good. I mean, and the one play where they talked, I forgot who the reporter was, who asked Ben Johnson about, Caleb held the ball for like 5 or 6 seconds. He's like, well, that's a good protection.
Yeah. I mean,
the left tackle spot.
It's a problem. I mean, I think the Bears wanted Braxton Jones to win that job outright, like to make no doubt. He's the veteran. He should have won that job. He doesn't look healthy. He looks like he's still maybe laboring a little bit. Maybe his leg is not exactly back where it was. I mean, he broke his ankle, so the pushing off, posting, setting it for anchor. He always had an issue with the anchor anyway. So now here he is. He had a injury to rehab from. So I think the Bears wanted him to win that job. I think the competition was set up to where he had the best odds to win it, and he just didn't stand out. So it's going to be a problem till Braxton Jones gets that leg back, the strength and everything back where it needs to be. Look, he's fine. I mean, he's an okay left tackle in the NFL. If he's healthy, he would have been, okay to go there. But now Ben knows, hey, I got to scheme. I may have to scheme around Braxton in the pass game sometimes. We kind of saw him struggle a little bit with posting, kicking, sliding back to the inside. We saw him get beat a few times with that move there. So maybe that's an issue for him. So Joe Thuney will know that, right? He's going to know, hey, I got to help Braxton a little bit here on this gap. Ben Johnson may send a tight end over there. He may send a running back there once in a while just because he knows that's my weak link until they get that figured out. Yeah.
And like I was saying in the last couple of weeks, like he didn't have a chance to train. He has rehabbing. It's a big difference. There's a big difference. And if you break your ankle, bro, you can't squat and deadlift, power clean. You can't do anything. And he got the legs of a basketball player to begin with. So right. Mass on him, his whole thing. Then you needed mass on those legs, and he couldn't do it. So he regressed, and I was wondering how it would affect it. And we've seen the effects. He hasn't been as strong. He needs to get stronger from last year. And I doubt he's even as strong as he was last year because of his thing. So I don't know. What's your thought on Isaac Shapiro, man, and moving him back to right? Or would you like to keep him on left and to say, hey, stick with it? Is that? What's your thoughts on him, the rookie?
I always figured he was drafted to be the left tackle next year. I always figured he'd be the guy to come in. I mean, look, if you drafted him and your plan was to play right tackle, that's a pretty poor draft plan to me because, you got a guy that's, on the cusp of Pro Bowl possibly in Darnell Wright. So I always thought Ozzie was drafted as next year's left tackle. Year one, he could kind of be the swing. Yeah, let's put him in the mix to see if he can kind of win that job from Braxton. But look, a rookie versus a 4-year vet, the vet's just seen things, right? He knows defensive fronts. He knows, the stunts he'll see. He knows everything he'll see from a mental aspect, which is way further ahead than where Ozzie should be. So that's why I always thought it would be Braxton's job to lose. It wasn't like Ozzie was bad. He just, still needs to work on his footwork a little bit. Everything is different going from right to left. And while he did work the left side pretty much most of the offseason prepping for his role, still takes time. So I think as these next 2 weeks here happen at Hallis Hall, and then, there's no fans there, obviously, we're going to see him probably Ozzie's hopefully cross-train bit and be your swing tackle for the season.
Kirana Magaji, my guy Cornelius is like, why are they writing off Kirana Magaji? Your thoughts on him?
I think he makes the roster. I got a feeling the Bears may keep 10 offensive linemen. Look, if you look at Amagazi's tape for Yale, you see the tools and why he was drafted where he was. I mean, a lot of Bears fans, why are they drafting this kid in the 3rd round? I mean, that's kind of where most pundits had him. They kind of figured he would be in that range there based on the tools. He had an injury, obviously, his last year at Yale. He looked awful last year. Last year should have been a redshirt year for him. He never should have saw the field. I mean, he just needed work, to get back. We talk about the rehab for Jones. Same thing for Amagazi. He just couldn't really play football the whole offseason. Small school going to the NFL, but, in preseason, his technique was better. You see him what he does there. He's just and then last year he did get some guard work. So I think he's going to be in the mix as a reserve. He may be your 10th guy, depending on how he develops. But, Dan Rochard talked about him early in the process that he likes his traits. He likes his tools. So, again, unless they get caught in a numbers crunch where they have to, move a guy, I think he makes the roster.
I do too. And what about Theo Benedette? I mean, he's in the mix now in the left tackle spot. What are your thoughts on him? Does he make the roster? Is he the starting left tackle? Your thoughts on this guy?
I think he sticks too. Like I said, I think they're going to keep 10, and unless there's a weird injury somewhere where they have to keep an extra guy.
Like quarterback?
Yeah, like quarterback, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I think with Theo, again, he came out of nowhere, right? I mean, no one thought he'd be a chance to make the roster. Last year, he played mostly guard. So I think the Bears feel he's a guy that can back up 4 positions, both tackle spots, both guard spots. He's not playing center for you. So I think that he may make the roster. He may be a guy that's kind of in the mix. Maybe he's Ben's 6th lineman, because in Detroit, Ben Johnson played Dan Skipper, the reserve offensive lineman, as a big O lineman, the big tight end. He played him quite a bit. So who's going to be that guy for the Bears, right? Ben Johnson wants to do it.
Oh yeah.
So maybe it's Benaday.
That very well could be, because he moves pretty well. He could be that offensive guard that, you put it, like you said, a third tight end, or have him in the backfield, get him in motion. You know me, man. I just want smash mouth. Get him in motion. Get 320 pounds of massive man in motion. Kick out a defensive end, or wham block a defensive tackle.
I mean, it's going to be someone. I mean, that's, like I said, Ben Johnson did it every year in Detroit. It was Dan Skipper there. So he's going to have one of his guys will be his chess piece, right? We can kind of stick out there and battering ram, get him out there and do something. Whether it's Benaday, whether it's Amagaji, maybe it's Ozzie Trapillo. Who knows? I mean, 6'8" dude running at you, that'd be kind of wild.
That would be, but also what that would do is that gives you confidence. All right, it makes you feel part of the squad. All right, we all know our roles, and that's the most important thing when a coach is when you let role players, let them know specifically what their role is, and they'll adapt and they'll thrive in it. So hey, Karan Amagaji or Trapillo, listen, here's what I want you to do. You're gonna come across in motion on short yardage. You're gonna knock the shit out of the defensive end.
Yeah.
All right. You got a head start. He knows it's coming. You know it's coming, but you got a head. You know what I mean? And those type of things are stuff that could get the confidence into a Trapillo or Karan Amagaji, where if they're forced into action, they might be able to play. They might play a little better because they feel that they're a part of the team now, so to speak, because of the contributions. So hopefully that really works. Your thoughts on Caleb? I think he played okay. He still looked a little frazzled until the end when he started handing the ball off, and then he went good. He looked good on that touchdown drive. Give me your thoughts on him overall.
Yeah, I think he had a good preseason. I mean, you look at his overall numbers this preseason; they were solid. 120 passer rating, I think it was, and no picks. Of course, like we talked about the fumble he had. He took 1 sack, which was that bad sack he took. And he's not going to fix all his issues in an off season. But I think he's in a good place. I think he understands the offense pretty good. You heard Ben Johnson talk about it. They gave him everything, right? They put everything on the plate. They're going to put everything at him in training camp, in the offseason, in the preseason. You're going to see what they do best, and then as the season goes on, for week 1, they'll make a game plan specific to what they want to do there. So I think he's in a good place. He worked the middle of the field quite a bit. We're talking about that. I think he had that one play to DJ Moore where it was 3rd down and forever, right? But the fact that he kind of went through progressions and found DJ on that deep middle comeback, that was a rope, man. I mean, there's just his arm talent is pretty good. There's certain plays he just can make because he's got that arm. So
yep.
His receivers let him down a little bit.
It was short of the first down. It was like 3rd and 19, and he hit DJ for like 14 or 15. But yeah, I know exactly what play you're talking about. It's beautiful.
There was another one to Colston Loveland where it was short of the sticks, but you know what? He made the right read. He found Loveland coming across, and you can't always have every receiver pass the sticks. It's just not that's not going to happen. You got to sometimes go to the guy
too. Defense gets paid too.
Yeah, gotta hope you get your guy short and hope he makes a play. And Colston didn't break a tackle, but I think he's been pretty smart with the ball. I think he's going to be. I see no reason why he shouldn't. Have a nice year this year for the Bears.
But speaking of Colston Loveland, how are you liking that son of a gun, dude? He is a nice little chess piece to have, huh?
He is just his movement, right? When you look at him move, he doesn't look like he's 6'5", 250, whatever it is. He moves like a receiver.
Yeah.
That's why the Bears drafted him. But then, you saw some clips of his blocking, right? So
No block, no rock.
He's a way better blocker than I think Bears fans thought he was coming out,
Yeah.
because he was billed as the move, right? As the Joker tight end. That's what he's billed as. He's going to be the guy you move around. At Michigan, he did that quite a bit, but it's also the Big Ten, right? I mean, he wasn't recruited to be a receiver. He was recruited because, they wanted him to block. So he played a lot of inline tight end. He played some H-back. He had to block there. His technique is
Jim Harbaugh,
right? Yeah. So he has good technique. He just has to work on, NFL strength. And I think, he can do that as well. He may not do it as much as a rookie in line, but moving forward in his career, he'll play anywhere on that offense.
Yeah. I get so giddy like a little schoolgirl when I watch him play. Like he's the tight end. We haven't had that tight end. We haven't had that tight end here, if ever. I don't say. We've had a couple good tight ends like a Martellus Bennett. All right. But even maybe a RoboCop Jim Thornton back in the day, but we haven't had a guy who was just this smooth, man, just smooth and is a weapon like that. And it's to see, man, it's so good to see like that. Like now you're screwed. Like the middle of the field, you're screwed. You drop off in zone. We got a dude who can get it and run afterwards. Much better than Cole. And no disrespect to Cole Kmet, but this dude can get a heck of a lot of yak. So. Like the offense. Let's go to the other side of the ball. The defense, man. Patrick Mahomes went through him like a hot knife through butter. 3 drives, 3 scores. Yeah, sure. He hit Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen, yes, he was another one. He might be that. Yeah, he might be that.
The Bears had no use for Greg Olsen, man. They
we don't need him. He didn't need him. Come on.
That's Mike Martz.
And he was only here for a year.
It's ridiculous.
Thanks. Get rid of him. But talk about the defense. Patrick Mahomes really exposing. They got no pass rush. Granted, they had a little help with the refs and the holding and all the other bullshit that we saw and the no penalties. But give me your thoughts on the defensive line. Should we be worried about it, or was that just a multitude of things, one of them being the refs?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned still. I mean, you got, you signed Dale big money, right, to kind of come in and be the guy opposite Sweat, and he had a quiet training camp, quiet preseason.
Right. Yeah, he did.
I mean, and he's not a quick twitch guy off the edge anyway. That's what you want to see. You want to see him get the quarterback quick. Austin Booker had some flashes. He looked like he took a step in year 2. You hope he's healthy. At the end of the day, I never thought the Bears would have one main guy as like your sack guy. I thought they would kind of have a sack by committee. I thought that he would kind of scheme things up. I think that's what Dennis Allen will have to do. And I think against the Chiefs, they played more man. I mean, look, Dennis Allen's going to play more man than we saw with Flus, but he's not this like, all day press man guy. I mean, he plays zone 2. He'll mix up the coverages back on the back end. Nahshon Wright got toasted a few times out there. They need Jalen Johnson back. Obviously, he's a Pro Bowl corner. I think they'll be fine. I trust Dennis Allen way more than what I trust the Eberflus as far as the scheme wise, as far as calling a defense. I think they'll be fine. They just need their guys back.
Yeah, that really hurt me. Yeah, yes. Tariq Stevenson got toasted a little bit too. Yeah, it has me concerned. The lack of pass rush.
Yeah.
And I don't care how good of a DB you are. When you don't have a pass rush, you let a quarterback sit back there for a whole bunch of time and scramble, and now they go into scramble mode. It's really, really difficult. I mean, there's not a lot of people like Deion Sanders was a freak of nature who could just stick with you wherever every time you went. So I'm a little concerned with that because that's going to be an issue. If we can't get home, not even his home, just move a quarterback off his spot.
Yeah.
All right, get his eyes off of downfield, put some pressure on him. And man, they did a really good job. I'm talking about the Kansas City offensive line of neutralizing, all of our studs, and that really sucked. But anything you see, what about our linebackers? You okay with them? Sewell has been getting a lot more time this year in preseason. I think he's going to make the roster. He might end up being Sam. But your thoughts on the linebackers?
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. I mean, obviously with TJ Edwards, we all know what he's going to bring to the table. Good high energy guy. Tremaine Edmonds, they said he had like a slight muscle injury somewhere. That's why they held him out this last game. But they talk like he's going to be fine. He's a good football player. He's just not. Bears fans look at him and say, "Oh, he's making all that money. He should be like elite." It's just he's a good player, and I think in this scheme, I think will kind of benefit him and it'll benefit T.J. Edwards. And with Sewell, you said he's probably your Sam. I think they'll be fine. I mean, it's just it's again how I have my trust in Ben Johnson and getting things figured out on the scheme wise for the offense. I'm the same way with Dennis Allen on D. I think he's going to know how to mix these guys up. Kyler Gordon, I think, is going to have a big year out as a nickelback. He's going to do a lot of different stuff. I mean, we'll see him blitz. We'll see him up, in the box. We'll see him move around. I know they cross-train him at safety a little bit, so you may see him all over that defense, kind of like a Tyrann Mathieu did with him in New Orleans. So he has some pieces to work with on that defense side of the ball.
That's a great comp with the Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. Yeah, and Honey Badger was every place he went, he was extremely productive. And you're right. I think Kyler Gordon could be that dude. He could be that Joker type player that really, really, really wreaks havoc for an offense. And I like him. I think he's a good kid. I think he's super talented. He's not afraid to put his nose in there, even though he has a slight frame. He ain't afraid to bring it. Your thoughts, Ben Johnson? He's never coached before, and then now he's got a couple games under his belt. But what shortcomings and what do you think? What do you foresee as being an issue he may have a problem with as a first-time head coach?
He strikes me as the guy that's going to be so prepared. Like, I think he's going to over-prepare himself. I mean, I think he's going to go over every scenario. He's going to make sure he understands any situation that can come up. He just doesn't strike me as a guy that's going to, shy away from the moment. Where we saw Flus, right, through 3 years. Even last year, his third year as a head coach, there were times where the moment was too big for him. He didn't know what to do. Should I call a timeout here? No, I'm gonna have the guy stay out there. What should I do here? Should I have my guy clock it? Like, he didn't know what he was doing half the time, and he cost the Bears how many games during his tenure? It was ridiculous. So I'm sure it'll happen. He's a rookie head coach, but I just don't get the sense that he's going to do that. I think he's very. I think he takes the craft too highly, and he will not let himself go into the season not prepared to make every decision he needs to.
He does. Yeah, he is a guy who's makes sure that he's prepared, and he not only is he prepared, but his coaches are prepared, and it trickles down to the players being prepared. And I think it wasn't after the first game that people were saying that they were. Who did they play in the first preseason game? Buffalo was
so long ago. Why can't I remember this one?
Yeah, that's crazy. This is 2 weeks ago. We're like, oh, what was it?
I think having Dennis Allen on staff too, because Dennis Allen has been a head coach 2 different stints. I think that really helps him. He talked about having that experience on the staff with him. So I'm sure they've discussed a whole lot of stuff as well. So I think it's benefit to him having a guy like that on a staff that kind of be there, like be a sounding board for him as far as what he should expect as a head coach.
The Dolphins,
the soft-ass Dolphins.
Yeah, and they were saying how this team looked really confident, and they were impressed with the way, and that comes from the head coach, man. Yeah. So I'm happy. Give me your thoughts on what do you see how the season playing out? Give me, I know, a way too early prediction, but how do you see the season playing out with the Bears and health? Obviously, not accounting for health. Everyone's staying healthy, but.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone stays healthy, if things go how I expect them to go, I think there's no reason why this team shouldn't be pushed for a playoff spot. I mean, they only won 5 games last year, but I think the roster was better than that. Better coaching, better talent, better offensive line, this season. I see no reason why they shouldn't over 500. If they get a couple breaks their way, they could pull out 10 wins. And, if you're at 9-10 wins, now you're in the mix for a wild card spot. And look, the NFC is tougher than it has been in the years past. The NFC North in particular. The Lions, obviously the clash of that division. Packers are always right there. Vikings are, a lot hinges on J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings, but that's still a very talented team on both sides of the ball. So it's a tough division. So the Bears could get 9 wins and still miss the playoffs. They could even get 10 wins and miss the playoffs. That's just how the NFC looks right now. But that's got to be the bar, right? I mean, this team should have high expectations. Because of Ben Johnson, he's the hot head coach candidate. Everyone expects it. Caleb Williams is, number 1 overall draft pick last year. Everyone expects it. this team should be pushing for a playoff spot in year one of Ben Johnson's tenure.
Give me your thoughts on the DJ Moore situation. I'm not liking it. I'm a big DJ Moore fan. Do you think how long before you think he gets shipped off? Because it's evident that Caleb Williams is trying to force feed Rome Odunze. All right. I'm also concerned about Cole Kmet as well. And the reason I say that because these are the two guys who stood up for Justin when Justin was still here. And I'm wondering and I feel that Caleb it might be a little petty and has gone away from DJ. Because why would you not go to DJ Moore? You have a Pro Bowl receiver. You have a guy, and you kind of force it to your a rookie. I don't know, but give me your thoughts. And do you think that with the emergence of Rome, that DJ becomes expendable maybe this year? If not this year, then maybe next year because of his contract.
Yeah, I mean, look at DJ. I mean, I think he had more targets last year than he did the year prior. So I mean, I think it's not like he's not getting the targets. And then I look at preseason, I think Rome played more snaps than DJ did. So DJ Moore wasn't on the field quite as much as Odunze was. So that's maybe why some of the stuff where Caleb was going that way. And look, we heard in camp that there was a nice connection between Caleb and Rome, but I mean, that makes sense. They came in the draft class together. They were at rookie camp together. They probably have a better relationship together. Obviously, there's a lot of talent there. He was the 10th overall draft pick, right, in the draft. So I mean, and then as far as DJ goes, I mean, the Bears gave him a ton of money, but there is an out, I think, in 2 years that if they want to make a move as far as cutting him, that could happen. They did draft Luther Burden, who has a similar skill set to DJ Moore. So I think as long as DJ is producing and I think he's fine, I think the Bears will be content rolling with what they got. That's a hell of a three-man receiving core there. Zacchaeus is only a 1-year deal, so he's not going to be here forever. So Burden will slide into that slot role at some point. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there was some questions about his attitude last year a little bit, not giving 100%. The one where he stepped out of bounds, that was all over social media. Mm-hmm. It's roster construction, right? You're always looking as when you're constructing your roster, you're always looking forward, right? You can't just be content with this year. Which is why Luther was drafted, because if there is a move have to be made, if a salary cap situation pops up where you do have to make a move, because Moore is the highest paid player on the Bears, biggest contract in franchise history, mm-hmm. At some point you're gonna have to pay Caleb. At some point you're gonna have to pay some other guys here. So maybe you feel as a franchise you're comfortable either letting DJ walk when his deal's up or shipping him off, a little early because you got guys behind him that can make plays.
Okay. Yeah, I just find it like I'd be forcing it to a proven Pro Bowler. You know what I mean?
I mean, look at his numbers last year. I think he had more targets last year than he did the year prior.
I'll check it out.
His numbers weren't his overall yards weren't there. He didn't get 1,000 yards, but as far as his play, he played more snaps last year than the year prior. I think his targets were higher than a year prior. If not higher, they're like right there. It wasn't like a drastic fall off. The only problem last year was the yards were a little lower because you had also Rome and you had Keenan Allen. You had three guys, splitting up those reps. So,
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Lester, it's going to be a fun season. I'm really looking forward to this. So what are you saying? 9-10 wins? Is that where you're?
It's got to be. If you're not pushing for playoffs in first year of this. I mean, just look at what Ben Johnson did in Detroit that first year. They were coming off a horrible season the year before. And, he came in and as a primary play caller, I know that he called some plays the year prior, but when he was actually got the OC job calling those plays, offense kind of started a little slow, but man, it really kicked in. And, Goff had 4,500 yards that first year there. So, Jamal Williams, 15 touchdowns on the ground. So, Swift had a career best yards per carry, so he knows how to call an offense, man. So this should be a team, those in the hunt graphics, it's going to be real this year. Finally, it's not going to be some 4-8 Bears in the hunt. Get out of here. Get them off that graphic. They're
not mathematically eliminated. They're in the hunts. Like they're out.
So this year they should be in the hunt for real this time.
Last question before we let you go. I'm going to pull up the schedule for you in a moment. Give me your thoughts of a one game that you think that most people think is an L for this Bears squad, but you think the Bears might be able to pull it out. We got a tough one. We got Washington. We're at Washington. All right. We got the Ravens. We got the Bengals. We got the Steelers, the whole AFC, the Browns, the Niners, obviously the Lions, the Eagles. Give me one game that you think, hey, the Bears could probably win this. The Bears might win this when most people think it's a loss.
Yeah, maybe, looking at maybe the Commanders game, last year's, that game has the players that are coming back from last year, that game has to stick in them, right? They have to be so pissed how that game ended. Caleb had phenomenal numbers that game. It just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And of course, the way it ended, we all know how that ended. And that has to make those players really, really pissed. They're going to have a little extra oomph, going into the Commanders week. Plus, it's there again, right? So you get a chance to kind of really go out on the road and kind of focus. So that may be a game. They're not going to be favored in that game, but I think they could pull that one out.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so. And I hope Caleb plays well because, Jaden Daniels took that team to the NFC Championship game, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it'll be great if he does that and they're able to go down to the nation's capital and pull it out. So, hey, that's great stuff, man. I appreciate your time, but do me a favor before you go. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, I'm social at Wiltfong Jr. Everything I write goes at Windy City Gridiron, and all my podcasts and then video stuff is at Second City Gridiron.
Dude, great stuff, man. I appreciate your time, bro. You have a great day.
Anytime.
All right, now. Guys, that's Lester Wiltfong Jr. from Windy City Gridiron talking Bears football with us here. And, yeah. I'm excited. I'm very excited. A little leery with this defense. But, again, this is exactly what could have been needed by this team. Okay, you get an ass whooping. Okay, you're a lot more willing to work and take coaching and criticism after an ass whooping. Okay? Because you have it on film. Okay? You have it on film. You understand that coaches are able to reach you better. Okay? And this could have been the best thing that happened to them. I hope it is. I hope it's a situation where they come out and they open up a can of whoop ass on Minnesota. Minnesota's a good team. All right, Justin Jefferson should be back. Jordan Addison won't be there. He has a 4-game suspension. But you still got Brian Flores. Okay? You still got Brian Flores on the defensive side of the ball, calling the defensive plays, and we know how much he likes to bring heat. So now, can they handle the heat? That's the most important question. Can they handle the pressure that Brian Flores is going to bring? I hope so. I hope so. Because if Brian Flores watches any of this preseason, he knows that left tackle spot is going to be prime for the taking, prime for the attack, for the attacking, overload that left tackle. And then can Caleb buy enough time, step up in the pocket, all right, still hit his receivers and make them pay? That's the question. I know Ben is going to run the ball more. All right, I'm almost certain of that, but we got to figure out who's going to be the complement, to DeAndre Swift. Roshan Johnson wasn't dressed. I don't know what we have in him. Kyle Monungai wasn't dressed. All right. I need to see more production or more time for more plays from him. I mean, we don't have any more time now. It's these count. These are for real. So, yeah, I'm wondering about the running back spot. Are they going to make a move? A lot of people thought he was going to go there. The Bears were in the Brian Robinson sweepstakes. All right. He ended up getting traded from Washington to the Chargers. I can't remember where Brian went. But anyway, So he's off the table. Who do we have? You know, because the run game is sets everything up. The run game is going to set up the play action. It's going to buy Caleb time. It's going to eat up the clock. So what's happening in the run game? That's a big concern for me. And obviously the left tackle position is going to be part of that run game, part of the issue of the run game. So we're going to see how it ends up playing out. It's going to be, I'm anxious to see how the Bears go about it, because that's, and how are you guys feeling about the defense? You know, Lester just talked about Dayo Dengbo getting paid a lot of money on the other side, and we haven't heard him. We haven't heard his name. And to me, that's a problem. Excuse me, that's a problem. All right, you got a whole bunch of money, and we haven't heard your name at all in 3 preseason games. I'm not saying sacks. So I just need to hear your name. I need to say, hey, oh man, he got that off, but woof. He was getting pressured by Odengbo. You know what I mean? That's the stuff I want to see. I want to see him become a problem, become a nuisance to an offensive lineman, to a tackle. All right. How many games have we seen where there's one guy, one edge rusher, every single time he's getting to the quarterback? Quarterback's got to step up and move out, replace where he came from to buy more time. That's the kind of guy we need. I need Dayo to be. That quarterback knows he's got to have a sixth sense, because he knows that Dayo is going to be a pain in the ass, literally. But I haven't seen it yet from Dayo, and I'm a little concerned about it, because I would think that you would want to show out in front of the AFC representative in the Super Bowl last year. You would think that. You would think that you're like, okay, I got a tough challenge. Remember, the ones they're out. I think their defense was out for 2 series. The Chiefs defense was out there for 2 series. So in that 2 series, I wanted to see Dayo make some noise, move Patrick Mahomes off his spot, get home, get a sack. I wanted to see something that this defense that will give me hope that this defense is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I didn't see it. I didn't see it, and that bothers me. Yeah. Shorty says 3 questions. Where the hell is Zoff Frazier? He played. He gave up a pass. I don't know if it was a big play, but I know he gave up a pass play. Ian Wheeler. No, Ian Wheeler's not injured. No, he did get injured, I want to say. And then Kyle Monungai, I believe he is some minor injury, but they just kept him out. So I like Ian Wheeler. A couple of plays that he had, a couple carries. I was impressed with the fact that him putting his foot in the ground. I was very impressed. I just need to see more snaps from him. He needs more time. And yeah. But I'm concerned with the run game, because running backs aren't built to carry the ball 25 times anymore. Remember back in the day, you had a workhorse running back. He's in there all the time. He's not coming out. Okay, he's not coming out. 25 carries a game. Not to mention pass pro, not to mention in the pass routes. But who do we have after DeAndre Swift? I don't know. I hope my guy Kyle Monungai can really step up and really take a how can I put this? Make an impact on this team. Become productive. So the offense where he benefits the offense. The offense is, hey, we wouldn't have as good a year without Kyle Monungai, coming in, getting 500, 600 yards, whatever. But we got to see. Right now, there's a whole bunch of we got to see. And it's a little frustrating, especially with the running back position and the left tackle position. But I don't know. I'm not sure how to feel about that run game. I think it's going to do well. I know Ben Johnson needs that and that sets the tone and they feed off of that. So how are they going to do this? Because I don't want Caleb throwing the ball 40 times a game. I don't need it. I want them to run the ball, run that clock out, wear down the defense, and then let Caleb pick them apart as this defense is getting exhausted and tired. So King Booker World says, give me the week 3 and I'll have an opinion. Okay. So definitely after the Las Vegas game, we should have a clear-cut idea. That'll be week 4. A clear-cut idea. Shawn says pass rush is still a concern. Yeah, it is. We were just talking about that. Dio got a lot of money, and he's now making me feel better about the pass rush. Austin Booker, he's hurt now. I wanted to see more from him. He got a sack in week 2 of the preseason off the first team. No, the Bills. Yeah, I think it was their first. No, it wasn't their first team. All right, he got 3 sacks against the Dolphins, 1 against the Bills. I think he got hurt this past. He didn't play. He was hurt. So I need to see him as well. Like we got to figure out who's on the other side. Who can come in and make some noise because they're just going to keep double teaming Sweat until somebody else is a big enough problem. And this is where guys need to step up. Here's where you're going to make your name for yourself. Okay? A la Mark Anderson. All right? You come in, they're not going to double team you because you're new, because you're young, and you go ham. You win the one-on battles on a consistent basis, get to that quarterback, sack, strip force, sack, fumble. All right? Become a problem. I don't know who that's going to be for us on the opposite side of Montez Sweat. I don't. All right, Shamar Turner, how big of a role is he going to play in the defensive line? Can they kick him back out to end, which he played in college, but then he gained weight so he can play inside? There's a lot of questions that I have with this team, especially the defense. So, yeah, I'm excited, but cautiously optimistic. Mr. Shorty says, it feels like we will never stop saying the O-line and the pass rush is still a problem. It does. It does feel like that, Shorty. And it's the left tackle spot. If Braxton Jones, if he had played to the level he played last year in the preseason, I'd have no problems with his offensive line. I'd be giddy as a little schoolgirl. But he's not there. He had to rehab. He didn't get to train. He didn't get to get stronger. You're right. And a pass rush, man. So here's my question to you. Who would be all in for a Micah Parsons trade? I'm not saying it's going to have the Cowboys or even offers. But who would? I don't want Trey Hendrickson because he's old. He's got 2 years left, and I don't think. I'd rather go after Micah Parsons. All right, can he stop the run? Okay. I mean, if you run right at him, it's a problem. On passing downs, that dude is a monster. You willing to give up 2 first-rounders, maybe 3, and a player? Because honestly, I don't know what else we need. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I do know what we need. You know, keeping your first round picks. You know, next year you can get a first round tackle if Ozzie isn't the dude. Next year you can get a running back in the first round if you want. You know, I don't know. Your thoughts on Micah Parsons? I'd like it, but I didn't think we needed much anymore. You know, I thought that left tackle spot would have been solidified, but with his injury, with Braxton Jones' injury, him not being able to be as strong as he was in the past, that's a problem. Injury in the running back room, that's a problem. So I don't know if I'd make that trade right now, or I'd be interested in that trade right now. I think it's a pass for me. I want to keep my first round picks so I can go draft a first round tackle if necessary, or first round defensive end next year if necessary. You know what I mean? You can't just think for this year. It has to be years down the line. But, man, 2 hours is coming and going. I want to thank my guest, Lester Wiltfong Jr., for joining us, talking Bears football with your guy. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lester. I want to thank you, guys. You make this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. All right, with your questions, comments, smart-ass remarks. I love it. All right. Love it. So I appreciate the love and support you guys give me. You know I do. And don't forget, coming up, Sports Zone Chicago's Bears watch party and dance party. All right, Sunday, September 14th at Branding Iron, 71st in Harlem and Bridgeview, Illinois. Right, we're going to do a pregame, a halftime, and a postgame show. And right after the postgame show, we are going to have DJs. It is going to be a party. I was there yesterday. It was a party. It is going to be lit. I'm telling you, it is going to be lit. So you're going to want to make sure you get there. Check it out. We're going to have giveaways, a whole bunch of different. We'll have some T-shirts, maybe a hoodie, maybe a quarter zip, maybe a hat. We're going to have a lot of giveaways there at the event. So make sure you come on out and grab your Sports Zone Chicago gear. It's swag. It's going to be dope, man. I'm telling you, I'm fired up. All right. So we'll get the flyer. We're getting the flyer made up. We're still working on it, but it's going to be fun. King Booker World, yeah, you got to battle. Got to get on the floor, do the helicopter, do the worm, pop, lock, and drop it. But anyway, folks, listen, you have a phenomenal day. I'll replay this at 6. Also, 12:15, Lakina and Sydney and Second City Sports, another 2 hours of Chicago sports talk there. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a phenomenal day. Listen, let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right? The end of summertime shy is quickly approaching this weekend, the official end of summer, Labor Day weekend. I just realized I have another party to go to, my cousin's birthday party on Saturday, after another cousin's graduation on Friday. Craziness. But hey, telling you, let them know you love them, because tomorrow's promised to no one. All right. There's still time for breakfast, lunch, brunch, dinner, drinks, happy hour, rooftop, patios, restaurants. Still time for all that stuff. Get it done. Let your people hang out with your peoples, make memories. All right. I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up the warden. So you guys have a phenomenal day. From everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, have a phenomenal day. Your boy, the SuperBack. I am out.
Come on, raise the bass.